Hi, I'm Bill Heaner. Today, I'm going to take you to meet an extraordinary person, my good friend, Cynthia Currie. Cynthia is a world-renowned aerial sports athlete. She's also a paragliding instructor and owns her own paragliding school here in Northern California. We're going to head up the coast and check out a very special bus conversion that Cynthia calls home. After that, we're going to do some paragliding at one of my favorite spots, the Marina Beach Dunes. You're going to love it, and you're really gonna love Cynthia. So come on, let's go. Imagine a life where everything is possible. And young or old, age is only a number. Would you play it safe or take the detour? Not sure? Then I would love to introduce you to some of the most fascinating people and places on this planet and help you find your exit point. I know what mine is. I'm Bill Heaner. Come on. Let's take the leap together. Of the roughly 2,000 miles of California coast, the Monterey Peninsula stands out as one of the most iconic stretches of coastline known in the world. There's a wild mystery here that always puts me into a certain mood to connect with the geography and explore off the beaten path. And if you're anything like me, you can't help but get a little sidetracked by abandoned places like the eerie Fort Ord just a few miles south of our flying site. One of the things I love so much whenever I'm traveling is to find these rich urban landscapes. And there's one here at Marina Beach that is so awesome. It's Fort Ord. These places look like set of The Walking Dead. Vacant, mysterious, some say haunted. Initially used as a field artillery range in 1917, the fort was considered the most attractive military range in the U.S., given its desirable beach location and beautiful California weather. Originally known as the Giggling Reservation, the fort was officially renamed in 1933 as Fort Ord, after the Civil War commander, Major Edward Ord. As part of a massive expansion of the U.S. Armed Forces after the First World War, this unique military base would grow to 20,000 acres by 1940 and was home to the Army's famous 7th Infantry, known as the Bayonets. After D-Day, thousands of German prisoners were shipped from the European theater to Fort Ord to build the fort's new bunkers and walls. And in the post-war 1950s, Fort Ord became the chief military training center in the nation. In 1994, Fort Ord was officially closed. Most of the fort's land makes up the Fort Ord National Monument, while a small portion remains under Army control, known as the Ord Military Community. I kind of want to go in them, but they're pretty rickety. One of the things we love as paraglider pilots is to find interesting places to ground handle, what we call paraclimbing. Some of these kind of things are some of the most rich and interesting places that I've ever done that particular activity. And we're out. With Cynthia still an hour or so away, I think I'll hike my gear up the dune and take a look at conditions. It's early yet, but the wind is starting to come in. Time for a quick flight. And maybe a little guitar practice to pass the time before Cynthia arrives. This stretch of beach in Northern California is considered some of the best free flight dune soaring in the USA. But the California wildfire season is in full force. What looks like fog is smoke. We're surrounded by raging forest fires to the south, north, and east of the flying site. I can taste the smoke while flying. One of my favorite things in the world to do is soar paragliders on sand dunes. And I look for those places all over the planet. This is one of my favorite places. I happen to teach hang gliding here way back in the day and have flown this a lot on paragliders. My great friend Cynthia Currie has developed Monterey Sky Sports paragliding school right here at Marina Beach. And this is her bus. I can't wait to see her. Cynthia!
Welcome to my house.
May I?
Yeah, go on in.
Hey, are you a good dog? Oh, most beautiful dog in the world.
He's a guard dog.
Oh yeah.
Not really.
Okay, there's a guitar on the wall. I like it. That's.
Dude, check this out. The other day in Pacific Grove, I got hit by a golf ball.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's good that didn't go through. Look at this place. I should mention that Cynthia is an engineer, marine engineer, and she built this bus. Tell me about how long this took you. This looks pretty complete.
Mostly complete. I still want to like face out some of this stuff, but I also, the stuff that's not finished, I wanted to live in it first and get a feel for it. I was gonna originally like close this, but I like having it open and being able to see all my cups and things like that. It also opens the space a lot as well.
Beautiful pieces of wood that you have. Where'd you get this?
This is a 25-foot slab of juniper from New Mexico. And I bought it originally for this 6-foot countertop, but I had some left over to do the sink as well. I was thinking about buying something separate for it, but yeah, I kind of made it work. It was pretty fun. It was like a little bit of a mathematical problem for me because it wasn't wide enough here, so I have like 2 pieces, and I've never really worked with wood. I have worked with epoxy, but...
You actually went with the wood-burning stove here, huh?
Uh-huh. I was in Montana last winter. It was minus 17 degrees, and this thing heated up the bus so much, the dog was dying. He was on the floor panting, and I was naked. So yeah, it's pretty good.
God, this woodwork.
It's got 2 inches of insulation on the roof and the side. The floor has 1.5 inches below us, and also like scratch-proof, waterproof, dog-proof. Hi.
I want to come back as a dog in your bus.
He does kind of live his best life. Here, come on, bud. Into bed. Yeah, good boy. And this is his bed. Yeah. And he's got a fur. This is like actual sheepskin I got for him as well. It also makes it cozy down here. I built this for me and for him.
Do you serve coffee on this bus?
Oh yeah, you know it. Are you ready? Not quite as good as Bill Heaner coffee,
Well,
but you know.
On a bus, it might make up for that.
I don't think anybody makes coffee that good. So yeah, definitely. Got a nice little tea kettle right here. We can get that going right now.
Get started. What are we serving today?
It is a blend of beans that I actually got from Utah. So it's a blend of light roast and this amazing Highlander grog that I get from right by you and Draper, right by Point in the Mountain. So whenever I come to visit you, I hoard away a whole bag of beans. You should smell it. It's amazing. It has like almost like a Bailey's scent to it. Can you smell it?
Let's see. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. So I mix like a quarter of that and then the other beans.
Well, you know, the biggest part of making coffee is actually grinding the beans, because if you don't grind them,
It smells so
you
good.
don't get the same aromatic effect. The things that I put in coffee,
Better.
do you have butter?
I do. Here, let me.
You're not going to have one thing that I put in the coffee.
Oh, what's that? Magic? I have magic. I just don't have Bill Heaner magic.
It can be half magic.
Anything else? Cheese? Would you like salsa in your coffee?
Oh, Red Bull.
Red Bull in your coffee?
Oh, you got...
Red Bull gives you wings. I got the good butter. I'm not messing
This is the
around.
good stuff. No, I usually do. I'm not going to do it today. But I just kind of nuke it just a little bit.
Oh yeah, we
But
can.
but the hot water will do just fine. And we're on the beach in the bus. Half. You know, I hear about all these horror stories of van life and bus living.
What's that?
And it's just the horror story of, you know, they get out on the road and then after a month, they can't stand anymore. It's just not like home anymore. But this doesn't feel like that at all. This feels like I would rather be here than standing inside of a house.
I wasn't planning on living in it long term, but now it's been quite a few years now, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love it. It feels like home for me no matter where I go.
This is a moment that I've been waiting for, to have coffee on the Swiss finally. And so I thought maybe I would say cheers to finally making that happen, Cynthia. And so good to see you.
Yeah.
Get to fly with you again. Cheers.
Cheers.
I feel like I have just come home.
Thanks.
You have a place where you can just feel as at home as if you were in an apartment somewhere.
I do my best. I am a girl, so I think I have slightly good hygiene for that. Also, this is all cedar.
I used to travel around with a legendary hang glider pilot named John Heine. And we traveled around competing in freestyle meets all over the country and doing aerobatics clinics. And at that point, I was sort of living in my Volkswagen van, and he had his, and we would just go around the country and live. And I always had the idea that I wanted to kind of scale up into something like this. What has this done to provide more of the things that you love?
Well, it has done exactly that. It's given me the ability to follow the weather, follow the wind, follow the conditions, follow the snow. Last year and this year I have an Icon Pass, so I'm just basically going wherever there's good snow at all of the mountains, and speed riding and skiing everywhere and going backcountry. But honestly, this isn't for everyone. It's not even for everyone that does the sports that we do.
But if someone were to get the idea to build out this 25-foot bus, would you say go for it, or?
It depends on what kind of person you are. Absolutely go for it. I have a couple aspects of my personality that made the way that I did this work for me, and I knew that going into it. I'm very much a planner. I'm an engineer. I have a very analytical brain, so I have a notebook full of, before I ever started this, all of my schematics, my drawings, everything, and then I also laid out how long I was going to take to do it, and I took time off to do it, and that's me. Whereas somebody else could do this same build over a longer period of time. I took 6 weeks to build this and was living in it by the end, and pushed off of, where I built it in Arizona and started to travel immediately.
You do a lot of things. So you're a wingsuit-based pilot. You are a paragliding instructor, paragliding tandem pilot, a skydiving instructor, and skydiving tandem pilot. What am I missing?
I used to teach kite surfing.
Kite surfing, competitive surfer.
Yep.
You were a competitive surfer.
I was. I don't know how I'd be now, but yeah.
You think you've graduated from brick and mortar living, or do you think you'd ever go back to that?
Actually, many people have asked me if I would sell this to them, or would I just sell it in general, and the answer is, oh hell no. Because I put $25,000 into this, but in my heart, it's priceless.
Sure, it's rare. It's one of a kind.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing the silks?
God, since I was 20, a long time ago. Before it was hip, that's for sure. My girlfriend went to a circus class and came back and said, guys, we can do this. Let's get some of these. And we were all skydivers at the time, and we hung them up in the hangar, the skydiving hangar that we had the airplanes in, and we all just kind of learned silks, and it went from there.
And you've done a silk performance from a skydiving tandem. You exited from your harness down onto the silks with skydiving rig on. So no safety then on that one.
No safety because I had a parachute.
Because you had a parachute. So did that feel great? I mean,
it was terrifying.
Yeah.
It was absolutely terrifying, which is hilarious because I had everything I needed to survive.
Yes.
There was a small amount of danger in that I could get wrapped up in the silks, and that would be a problem. But
yep.
I mean, the biggest thing we were worried about is that I would fall off before I had the chance to, do anything, and we'd have to redo it. I've also hung them off the KL Tower in Kuala Lumpur. It's a 1,000-foot tower, and I hung them off a crane off the top of that building and did a performance, and then base jumped off of them.
I don't know. In all the things that I ever do, some things start to become a little routine after a while, And when something new comes along and you got it, it's fully within all capabilities involved. But I love that moment of this is different. We do really have to pay attention to this more than we had in the last 5 minutes that we were standing here. And that idea that you can actually feel that again, that newness of that fear, I think is still probably one of the greatest gifts in the sport.
It's a healthy fear. You can equate it to this, like my lifestyle. The day I bought the bus, I couldn't sleep. Partially because it was like a little kid about to go to Disneyland and embark on this amazing adventure and fantasy. And then part of it was the fact that I was about to drop, almost $30,000 on something that I am committed to doing and might not work. And what if I mess it up? And oh my God, and all of this fear.
What do you think it is that builds that trust between the people in your life that you've given it to and that made you able to take that next step?
I've kind of had that with you, but how do you put your finger on it? I can't explain it.
It's not often that happens, and I want to somehow bottle that and have more of it, but maybe the specialness of it is that it doesn't happen that often.
Absolutely.
And then you just have those few.
Yeah.
Can you please go fly now, Cynthia?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
This dune site, called Lakeort, has easy access. Just a quick walk up the backside for an ocean view launch. So it's really windy and cross right now, which means it's really turbulent. Usually at the beach it's really smooth, but kind of here has to be blowing straight in. At least I know I'm not getting blown over the dune if I just... Today's wind is strong, so we choose to fly what are called mini wings. These wings have a higher tolerance for stronger conditions and are nimble and fun to fly. Our paragliders stay aloft through deflected airflow on the face of these dunes. As the wind blows into the dune, it creates a standing air wave over the top of the dune. We stay aloft or soar by surfing this wave of air. When it's windy enough, we can apply both brakes to slow the glider to match the wind speed. If there's lift from the slope at the same time, we float somewhat stationary in place. This ability to match the glider's airspeed to the wind speed creates a dreamlike, almost superhuman ability to hover and bounce over the ground from object to object. So finally, a little play, a little bit of a straighter wind, not as turbulent. That's just Cynthia flying in front of me, creating a little turbulence for my paraglider. You'll notice that it'll kind of go back, pick up again. That's just the wake turbulence from her. Below me. One of my favorite activities in flying paragliders is staying close to the ground, or what we call ground handling. With ideal conditions, playing with a paraglider on the ground is our version of a skate park. Ideal wind speed and terrain with the perfect size glider is like having your own anti-gravity machine.
I don't know, Sin. Out of overcast, cross, and choppy versus today, what was your favorite flying condition?
It's a hard one, you know. Coastal butter.
Butter. Yeah, today was butter. And bonus, I didn't bring any gear, and thank you for letting me borrow that nice wing and harness.
Yeah.
And I did bring my helmet, though. You got to give me some kudos.
That helmet's hilarious.
And thank you for everything, especially the wonderful tour of your home on wheels. It was fabulous.
Yeah, you're welcome. Don't forget the coffee.
Oh, yes, and don't forget the coffee. Well, I hope you enjoyed your time with Sin as much as I did. Remember, you're never too old or young to discover something new. See you next time
On Exit Point.